Well, let's leave the Bahamas, I think, heading towards us now.
Oh, perfect.
Are you ready to do this? We still are getting questions in, so I think it'd be good.
Yeah, no, I do too. A lot of questions to answer, which I think is great because it's very different thinking when you are living on a boat and not on land. We all prep for land. The news preps you for land, but nobody really preps you for a boat unless you're a cruiser. We've gotten a ton of emails and questions through social media about us, the boat, and what's really happening with both of those things during the hurricane. Hurricane Dorian, as we know, it's a massive storm. The boat is in Grenada right now, and we are in Orlando.
Yeah, so the boat is in Grenada right now because first off, we wanted to get it down there. We wanted to get through the Caribbean and prep for our next leg, what we're going to do next. But another reason is our insurance company requires us to be outside of a box. So it's a longitude latitude box. We have to be under, I believe it's 12.5 degrees, which is right around the Grenadines, in order to be covered for a named storm. So we made sure we were there. We had to be there by July 1st, and we were. And so the boat's been sitting there. We were planning this trip back to Florida before the hurricane formed. We were going to come get parts because we're prepping the boat, like I said, and visit some family and stuff like that. But right before we left, the storm started forming. So it actually went by Grenada, right north of it, while our boat was there, but we had already left. It was only a tropical storm at the time.
We knew a storm had formed, so we went ahead and prepped the boat before leaving just in case it was to hit our boat.
We knew it was going to come pretty close, so we went ahead and prepped, removing the sails. Our insurance requires us to have at least 16 dock lines, so we made sure we have more than that. Removed everything off the boat that you could possibly remove, just in case, you know. I feel like it's really safe. It's in a really good marina. It's protected by winds, and plus, like I said, it's in Grenada. So we're expecting the storms to go north, but we just wanted to make sure in case it didn't, that we were covered. We also have somebody watching over the boat while we're gone.
Which is nice. Even if there weren't hurricanes, you always get a sense or a peace of mind asking somebody that you trust to watch over your boat.
Yeah, definitely. So now we're hunkered down in Orlando in a hotel room. The hotel's pretty much shut down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the hurricane's probably a day or two away from here at this point, but you can tell everybody's, you know, prepping and making sure they're being safe about everything, so that's really good.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. It's funny because we went to Grenada to dodge the hurricanes, and then we came here and they're coming straight.
It followed us.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But what's really sad is watching it plummet over the Bahamas. Right where it hit is one of my favorite all-time memories, and it's just sad to know that it's going to be, you know, pretty much destroyed. But as long as everybody's okay, you know, they can get back to it. But I hope it doesn't lose its quaint little feel and they put it back together kind of how it was. I think for us, it's kind of different than being on land because the boat is our only home. And in the past, we've gotten hit pretty much directly by Matthew and
Irma.
Yeah, Irma.
Yeah, if you follow our video series from before, we got hit by Matthew. The eye was 10 miles away from the boat, and it was in the water. And we got hit by Irma directly, and the boat was on the hard. And both times, the boat did really, really well. And I think that comes into luck and trying to prep it best you can.
Yeah, so, you know, that's our home to us. It's a floating home in a sense. So it's always a little bit nerve-wracking, but just as nerve-wracking as it would be if you owned a house on land and the hurricane was coming for you. Over the years, since it's been 4 years, I've had to learn to separate. It's only a materialistic thing. I love it. It is my home, but as long as we're safe, that's really all that matters. And I've always said if a hurricane was coming for us, we would leave as a family.
Yeah, the boat's not as important.
No.
You know, it would all depend on the situation, and if I felt safe. I wouldn't stay on the boat. I might be around if I can stay in like a shelter where I've seen that happen with Matthew, where you run down and you try to loosen some lines and stuff like that as it's happening. But basically, to get ready for the hurricane, you got to take all your sails off. You have to double, triple, put every single line you can on the boat. Take your solar panels off. Basically, everything comes off the boat. That
wind generator, canvas. Bimini. We did our bimini on the Lazy Gecko.
Yep. Everything, yeah.
All your covers, all your cushions.
Add all the fenders you can.
I've seen people tape up windows. I think we've taped up windows in the past, the Lazy Gecko. Inside, you kind of just take all of your important things.
And I'd say the most important thing as far as prep, the wind's going to be bad. A lot of times these marinas or spots you're in are protected a little bit by the wind. But I would say if I could choose a marina to be in, it'd be like the one we were in for Matthew, where it's good, solid docks, and they're floating docks.
Yeah.
One of the biggest thing that can be a problem for a boat isn't necessarily the wind, it's the surge. So if you're tied to a dock and the dock doesn't move and the water goes up over your line length and it stretches that out, it's going to break a cleat off, it's going to break a line, especially with it just getting pounded. It's going to eventually break, and then your boat's loose, and so on. With Matthew, we were in a marina where the docks floated, so they go up with the surge, and it was designed so if it spilled over the edge of the marina, it was so large that it wasn't going to go any higher. And that's exactly what happened. It went all the way to the top, it spilled over, and all the boats just rode with it. They were all pretty much protected by the wind because of the trees and everything around. I think there was one boat damaged there, and all it was somebody left their bimini up and it got torn. Right across the ICW, boats were sinking, and they were on fixed docks. So it's important to me to be on a floating dock if you possibly can during a hurricane.
Yeah, and usually that's something you'd think about months in advance prior to hurricane season, because people are always like, oh, I'll deal with it when it comes, but when it comes, everybody that was proactive already have the spots reserved, so they go to them. So
like we said, we are in Orlando. We'll be flying back to Grenada in a couple days, hopefully if the airport's open back up, and then we will be continuing to prep. So obviously we're a little bit behind with our videos because we were sailing all the time. We just didn't have the time to edit or have Wi-Fi to do it.
But now we have a lot of time during hurricane season. And
we've been putting up more videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been able to put up more videos, which is great. I'm really, really happy that we hit the Abacos and we documented it in our videos. So at least we have a little bit of history of what it was like pre-Hurricane Dorian. I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. You know, and you can go back and even see that. So that's really cool that we've been able to experience that through our eyes and bring it to you through the camera and now on your screen to watch.
Yeah, and since then we've cruised down. We went through all the Bahamas. We went Puerto Rico, through the USVI, BVI, all the way down to Salvador Island, all kinds of beautiful places, all the way down to Grenada. So there's a lot coming. Yeah. We're excited for that. I've been working my butt off editing, and I'll keep doing that. And then we're going to be in Grenada.
I do help.
Yeah. We'll be in Grenada for the rest of hurricane season while we're getting the boat ready, and then we have big news coming for after hurricane season.
Yeah, excited, very excited. How much longer do we have? 2 months left of hurricane season before we can take off again?
Yeah, we have to be south of the line until November 1st, and then we'll probably push that a little bit just to give a little buffer, just like we did when we left Florida.
Yeah, so typically that's a good point to hit. Typically it's from July 1st to November 1st, at least for us and our insurance, but we got there on June 1st. We're very cautious when it comes to safety and doing things the right way, so having that month took stress off of us to know we were there. We had a spot for us to comfortably sit. We checked out the area and kind of decided what we would be happy with for hurricane season.
So hopefully this hurricane continues up the coast like it is projected to do offshore. We only get a couple little squalls inland and stuff like that, and then it just goes out to sea. Our hopes and prayers go out to all the people in the Bahamas and everybody affected by this storm. Fortunately, you know, we were lucky, but not everybody was so lucky.
And gosh, it just moves so slow.
Yeah, this thing is creeping.
Crazy.
Okay, well, we just wanted to give you an update, and hopefully we answered some questions. If you have more, just send them in to lazygecko@gmail.com.
Let's end this one with a kiss, honey.
Okay.
Third hurricane season or fourth hurricane season owning a boat?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They suck. This is why we wanted to buy a boat in California and settle Alaska, by the way.
It is kind of, but you know, being in Grenada, I really haven't worried. When it was the Lazy Gecko and we were here, I was always worried.
Yeah.
So I do feel like history has shown. Well, you know what? I'm just going to stop there because...
Don't jinx us.
Don't jinx us. He's so into like, don't jinx us. I think it was because you were in the Marine Corps and you worked with
Aviation, man.
Aviation.
Jinxing is real. Trust me.
Yeah, so I just zip it.